Stop paying for AI agents. Right now. Here is why. On April 4th, Meta released Llama 4 Scout and Llama 4 Maverick, and buried inside that launch was a detail that should terrify every company selling you API access by the token. Native agentic tool calling, built into the weights, free, and the paid API industry has been suspiciously quiet about it. The villain here is not complicated. It is the per-token toll booth. OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, they have built a business model around a bottleneck. You want your agent to search the web, call a function, query a database. That will be fractions of a cent per call, thousands of calls per session, and a monthly bill that scales with every user you add. They need you to believe that running agents locally is impractical, unreliable, too hard for a normal developer. Llama 4 Scout just blew that story apart. Let me give you 3 pieces of proof. First, the architecture. Scout uses a mixture of experts' design. It has 109 billion total parameters, but only 17 billion activate per forward pass during inference. That means the computational cost per token is a fraction of what a dense model that size would demand. You can run this on a single workstation with a 48 gigabyte GPU. No cluster, no cloud bill, no phone call to your finance department. You download the quantized weights through Ollama, run a single command, and you have a model with a 10 million token context window running on your desk. Second, tool calling is no longer a hack. Previous open source models needed brittle, prompt engineering, or clunky middleware to invoke external tools. Scout and Maverick ship with structured tool calling baked into their training data and instruction format. You define a tool schema in JSON, the model generates valid function calls. You execute them locally, feed results back in. It is the same loop the paid APIs offer, except your data never leaves your machine, and the marginal cost of every single call is electricity. Third, the agent framework ecosystem caught up overnight. Within a week of the Llama 4 launch, both LangChain and CrewAI had Llama 4 tool calling integrations merged. You can scaffold a multi-step agent, one that reads your emails, checks your calendar, drafts replies, and files tasks in under 200 lines of Python. The inference latency on Scout with 4-bit quantization sits around 40 tokens per second on an RTX 4090. That is fast enough for real-time agentic loops. No batching tricks, no caching proxies, just local compute doing what a $50 a month subscription used to do. If you are following this and realizing nobody in the mainstream is saying it this clearly, that is the point. Subscribe. We say what the sponsored channels will not. Now here is the counterargument, and it is the best one the API companies have. They will tell you hosted inference is more reliable. They will point to uptime SLAs, safety filters, and managed scaling. And for enterprise deployments with thousands of concurrent users, fine, that still holds. But for a personal agent, for a solo developer, for a small team that just wants an assistant that does not phone home every thought to a third-party server, that argument is dead. You do not need 5 nines of uptime for your personal task agent. You need it to work when your laptop is open. Scout handles that. The safety filters are in the model itself, meta-trained refusal behavior into the base weights. And scaling is irrelevant when your user count is 1. So here is where we land. Meta handed the entire developer world a tool that makes personal AI agents a weekend project with 0 recurring cost. The paid API companies are not going to advertise that. They are going to keep showing you dashboards and billing tiers and enterprise contracts, and hope you never open a terminal and type Ollama run Llama 4 Scout. The question is whether you keep renting intelligence from someone else's server or you start owning it. So tell me, after Llama 4, is there any honest reason left to pay for a personal AI agent API, or is it just habit?